Hi guys, this is Courtney from Ruby Red Farm. Today's video is going to take you through some chicken coop TLC. So our chicken coops, the one that you see behind me here, is getting a little bit older, and we've had a couple times to change out the hinges. That's something that we're going to have to do this weekend. Today though, I'm going to get the coop cleaned out, get it nice and fresh for these girls, because we're then going to be moving them here hopefully in the next day or two. Game plan though is to clean it out really well, get fresh bedding, fix any little damages that are kind of showing up, and just get it in tip-top shape as we go into the heart of summer here, and there's going to be a lot more eggs coming down the pipeline soon. As you can probably see, we got some rain coming, so I'm going to try to get as much in here before this rain hits, and let's get started. So just first glance here, you can tell right away these doors are just kind of wonky right now. This happens every year, and again, I kind of mentioned it in the last video, that's one of the main reasons Brandon went away from this style of door, because they just break, quite frankly. They don't work super well, they're really prone to rotting, and even if we do this on a very regular basis, they always seem to fail. So he was telling me the other night he's considering just a different style of door on this coop, even though we're kind of still using it. He's looking at trying to either open them out sideways. Not a huge fan of that idea. I worry that the hinges will sag just like a gate would. Or from the top, or just something different. He wants to mix it up and see if we can have better luck. Gonna need to bring a bucket out here. We got a bunch of eggs. So I am gonna try to put as much of this here in the wheelbarrow as possible, just because it does make great compost. As you can imagine, all this chicken manure, there's a ton of nitrogen in here. So I'm going to try to do it the right way and at least take a few of these out of here and over towards the garden. So I'm filming this on a Friday. I worked this morning, kind of my typical summer half day on Fridays. I do that so that I have time to do this farm work, and so that I have time to deal with any last minute things that need done for the farmer's market. I already had to run, 2 errands on the way home. I'm managing the social media page throughout the day, contacting any vendors for last minute changes. So lots of little stuff that happens behind the scenes. Thankfully, it's not very much at one time, but in a given day, it does add up to probably a good hour or two that I spend on Fridays just dealing with farmer's market stuff. Once I get it all cleaned out, we'll get some pine shavings in here. We have used hay before, and we still do sometimes, but pine shavings tend to be a lot easier to clean out. And they do such a great job absorbing that moisture that a lot of times that's kind of our go-to. And in our case, whenever we do take it over and compost it, it adds a lot of nice carbon to the pile so that we can neutralize some of the nitrogen, which is good. Go. Let me show you how bad this next door is, though. Oh, if I can get this one closed. Gosh. This next door is my favorite. If I can get it off. It does this. It just kind of hangs there. Yeah, that's going to need a little more than a little love. I'm going to go ahead and keep cleaning. I'll show you guys the other coop as well, but I'm going to try to haul as much of it away as I can, and we'll get to work here. And just like that, it has started raining, which is exactly what it does on the weekends when I'm not at work. It has rained almost every weekend this whole spring. I think we've only gotten 1 or 2 that it didn't rain. I'm going to take this first batch to the compost pile and grab a bucket to collect these eggs, and then hopefully keep my phone dry. This guy just keeps getting worse and worse. I'm actually going to abandon that plan. It took way too long to mess with the wheelbarrow, so I'm just going to throw. Hopefully they'll spread it out here in the next few days. Whenever I end up tossing it out like this, I do try to throw it to one side or the other. That way I'm not blocking the wheels when we try to move these things here in a few days. I got heavy rain coming. I'm going to bring the camera inside for a minute. Probably good to go ahead and take this heating lamp out of here, considering it was 86 degrees yesterday. Pretty warm in here right now. There we go. Take that up to the house. really careful with shoveling. Shoveling is how I hurt my shoulders this winter. Now it was snow that got me, but then after that, anytime I would shovel to clean out the coops, I would be in trouble too. So really trying to be careful here and not extend my arms too far. I really don't feel like having to go back to square one on my shoulders. That took a lot of physical therapy to get my shoulders working again. It got to where I couldn't even pick up the egg bucket in the winter because I was in so much pain. So trying to pace myself and trying to be very careful of my posture so I don't end up hurting myself again. That was not a good thing this winter. You can hear the rain. It's coming down. Really not too bad, but looks like we got stronger rain right around the corner here. Suddenly I'm much more motivated to stay in the coop. Couldn't imagine why. I might be in here for a while. Alrighty, halfway done. Other half to go still. In all seriousness, this rain really is concerning. It is such a fine line here between helpful rain and hurtful rain. But the problem is with our clay soil, sometimes it just doesn't drain super quickly. And so some of these seeds that I just planted within the last week may end up rotting all over again like our first two batches. Now it's been nice and hot, so I'm optimistic, but we won't really know for a few more days if what we planted does well or not. And so again, rain. Rain is usually a good thing, but it's not always guaranteed around here. Oh, this underneath stuff is so heavy. The top is really light. The bottom got pretty wet here. If you're wondering why I have that ramp right in the way, that's exactly what it's there for, is to be right in the way so I don't accidentally lock myself in the coop. All it takes is one gust of wind and these doors will close, so that stops that from happening. Also, this coop does have the laminate on the floor. Highly recommend that if you're designing a coop. It's kind of a pain to install, but it makes a big difference when it comes to cleaning it out. All right, whew. This thing's empty. I'm gonna get some fresh bedding in here. I'm gonna go ahead and grab whatever eggs I can find from in here. They'll probably lay a few more. It's about 2 in the afternoon. I'll probably get at least another 2 or 3 dozen a day, but I'm gonna go ahead and collect now. I know they're just eggs, but they sure are pretty. All right, this coop's all set. I'm gonna get everything put back how it's supposed to be. I'll probably just go ahead and collect the eggs and clean out the nesting boxes in this other coop. Probably won't clean out the major portion of the day, though. I'll wait and do that tomorrow when it's not pouring rain. They do not like getting their feathers wet, so they will go undercover any chance they get. Just looks so funny when they get all wet. They start looking like this guy over here. Looking like a wet rat. Sorry, sweetie, you look lovely. The rain slowed down a little bit here. I can get a little more work done. Oh, ladies. So many broody hens, so little time. So if we find a broken egg, I actually just usually throw it right back to the chickens. A lot of people actually think that it leads to more egg eating. We've never noticed that. She literally just looks me in the eye and yells at me. Go away! So yeah, if I find a broken one, it just goes right back to them. Sheesh. I was only partially kidding about needing hearing protection in that last video. I really might have to look into getting some earplugs for being around these hens. They are so loud. Nesting boxes are all set. I wanted to take a second to thank you guys for watching our channel. If you have a moment, please make sure to hit like and subscribe. Comments really help us out a ton too. We appreciate your support of this small farm. Well, it's Saturday now. There's a certain irony to getting caught in a rainstorm while watering chickens. They better be happy. We're gonna do the rest of our chicken work on Sunday, so I'll see you then. So it's a very dreary day here in East Central Indiana. Got a couple of doors here that the batteries have gone bad on, so go ahead and get these changed out. They're very sweet. They're just very loud. There we go. These automatic doors from Run Chicken really are awesome. A lot of people I've seen will actually mount them inside and then you just set them up on a GPS timer. I just prefer to keep them on the outside so that we can get to them a little bit easier. But apparently they do last longer if you mount them inside the coop. So, big fan of these. They make our lives so much easier. Go on, you're going in, go. This one here has kind of just been going a little slow. Yeah, it's not bad, but you can tell the batteries are dying. Since I've got all the stuff with me, Since I've got all the stuff with me, I'm just gonna go ahead and change it now. Yeah, that battery's getting a little corroded, so definitely time to change it. So you know how people pick like a word for their season? And it's usually something like rebirth or solitude or whatever you want it to be. My word to describe this season is rain, because that's all it's done. All through April, all through May, and now halfway through June, all it has been is rain. I'm just amazed how many rainy weekend days we have had. And again, we both work Monday through Friday. So if it is not nice on the weekends, we're kind of just out of luck. And so thank goodness it's cleared out now and it's just dreary today. We'll hopefully get quite a bit done, but we've just been behind all spring because of this terrible timing of the weather. Good to go. I'll take it. Time to clean out this coop. So it is right around noon, but I'm gonna go ahead and grab whatever eggs I can get out of here. And you can laugh at me all you want. I'm mostly just grabbing these so they don't get broken in the process. Ow! Ooh, she got me good on that one. Ouch, yeah, she bit me. She bit me really hard. That's most of them. We usually get over half of the eggs by noon. And so I'm gonna go ahead and get one of these roosting bars out of here and then get this cleaned out. I'm sorry. Go on. All right, let's get this one out of here. It doesn't fit in this coop anyway. We're gonna move it back to the other coop. And hopefully he's gonna build me another one that fits in here a little better. Ooh, this one's heavy. This is the biggest set that we have. Hi.
Talking about me?
Yeah, I am. Here you go, strong man. Look at that timing. That's perfect. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, this one fits great in the other coop, so I figured we'd put it over there. You can just build one like this one, or a little taller. How wide are these? Are they 2 foot?
Should be.
Ish. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 and a half feet of space available. So I wouldn't do any more than 10. We need one more of those, please. You're supposed to say coming right up. All right, let's get this cleaned out. It's not too bad. It's actually pretty loose. But it's still a lot of work, so let's do this thing. Tell you what, this big coop really is nice in the sense it's way easier to clean out. You may have noticed on the other one I don't really have room to turn around. This one I can move way more freely through here, and it makes cleaning it out much easier. Let me talk to Brandon and see if we could put in like a clean out hatch on one of the sides here. I always see those, and I know they work a lot better for smaller flocks where people have, 10 or 12 chickens. We have over 300 chickens, and so it's just a different situation. But I actually feel like if we could put one on the side, and then if we wanted to, then we could even put a wheelbarrow out there. Might be nice just be kind of able to kind of push it out here. I'll have to ask him. I know he's not going to want one more project, but I don't think that one would be too hard of a project for him, so I'll have to see if he's interested or not. If not, this isn't too bad. I feel bad making him do all these projects after we finally just got home, but we have so much to catch up on. Okay, Ooh, I'm gonna pay for this tomorrow. Holy cow. Almost there. I got about a fifth of it left to do. This is what everybody does after getting dolled up for church, right? Get all prettied up for church and come home and work your tail off and get covered in sweat and dust, right? Ooh. So humid. I'm just dripping sweat right now. It's ridiculous. It's not even that hot. It's probably only mid-70s right now, but it's super humid. Not a whole lot of a breeze today. Okay, well, I gotta move this, so scoot it out of the way at least. There you go. Push it all the way out. There you go. Get it? Alright, Gabe, I'm gonna go get pine shavings. Okay, I'll be back. Can you finish this up? Alright, finish this up. I'll be right back. Oh, you're doing a great job, buddy.
This little part.
Oh, I missed that spot. Alright, I think I'm pretty happy with that. You happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna get run over there, little man. Are you tired, kiddo? Gonna take a little nap on the pine shavings? Sounds like a plan to me, buddy. Ready?
I dropped it.
That's alright, it still works. Alright, spread it out.
Fine shavings at
You threw one at a chicken. What'd that chicken ever do to you?
I don't do an accident.
That poor chicken. Alrighty, this is nice and cleaned out. Birds are thrilled. I'm sure they're gonna love it. We clean this out about every 2 months or so, and so really that was nice, light and fluffy soil bedding, which really we kind of give ourselves a little bit of a review every time, right? And how did we do? I feel like we actually did really well that month. The ground itself, the floor was not wet hardly at all, which is what we're going for. And now we know whatever we did the last couple months, we need to do just a little bit more pine shavings, a little more often, and we should be perfect. So really, really happy with that clean out. It was a lot lighter weight than it's been in the past. So I think we finally have the timing. Definitely still a fan of the deep bedding method. I know it's a lot of work, but we just don't have the time consistently to clean it out every week like we would if we did it the other way. So doing that deep bedding method where we just put some fresh pine shavings on top every other week is perfect for us. All right, they'll play around in this bedding here for a while we wait to see if we have time to build another one of these today. Let me see your booty. How many did you sneak on your booty? Let me see.
5.
Turn around, let me see. Are they all in your pockets? Excellent job. We knew those pants would come in handy, huh?
And
All right, one other TLC item here is I'm going to try to attach a little bit of traction for these birds. They have a really hard time getting in these last few steps because this is so slippery. So I'll see if I can get these to attach. I'm not doing it right, but I'm just getting it done. There we go. Yeah. Definitely function, not beauty. It'll work.
So I'm going to build one of my tried and true roosting bars, which basically is a pre-cut 2x4 that's cut about 2.5 feet in to get it in the door. I hinge it so that I still get the full length of the board, and then I'm going to run some 2x4s in between it because I couldn't access 2x3s this time. So come on. Finally. All right. So basically what I've done is I've cut this back 36 inches. I'm going to roughly lay it all in at an angle. I've got them spaced 18 inches apart, which should be plenty. for 5 rungs. If you watched any of my other stuff, I normally run screws in it, but for some reason, GRK, whatever screws are like $80 a box right now, so I'll use some 3-inch nails. One of these days I'll get a pass load. I know I'm using the wrong screws, but these sheet metal screws hold very well. They're more for holding like metal siding on. They work.
Let me squish, just give me a second. And hopefully this will spread everybody out a little bit more. Spread the manure out a little bit more as well. And these are nice and sturdy and should hold up for quite a while. Let's us take the other one that was in here and put it in the opposite coop so that we'll have more seating, so to speak, in that coop as well. So, looks great. Thanks, honey. All right, that'll work. Should be plenty of room for 300 chickens, give or take.
This is a temporary fix. My plan is I'm going to cut these doors in half and then hinge them on the edges.
Look at that. Look at this tiny little egg. Somebody's figuring it out. Right, it's still way better than it was. You know, it's attached now. Alrighty, well, now that everything's pretty well shored up, I'm gonna start getting everything prepped to move them tonight and to get as much stuff moved to the edge as possible. Get us ready to roll so it's a little bit easier at 10 o'clock tonight. All right, I'll leave them one water and they'll be good for the rest of the day with that. I'm gonna take these to the next spot and I'll probably go ahead and fill them up, and then I gotta fill feeders as well. Pick up some of this miscellaneous stuff. We use these to block the wheels if we park on a hill. And we use these to prop the windows open. And we use this to poke at the chickens so we can get them to go in at night. Go ahead and grab my thing of oyster shell as well. And then we'll wait and we'll put the ramps in there once we've got them in at night. So as usual, we have these just about empty, just so that we can move them a little bit easier here. I know that little bit we did doesn't look like much, but it's way easier to get it taken care of right now during the daylight than it is to do it at night. I'll get these filled up, but I am going to go ahead and give them a whole bag to eat on for the rest of the afternoon here. They should have had some feed up until this morning, but then they ran out today. Get these filled up though, so we don't have to mess with this in the middle of the night either, because we do have to go to work tomorrow. I have an audience. I'm thinking I might want to go ahead and give them this bag, otherwise they're going to stalk me. So at this point in the summer, the hens eat, I would say probably, $35 to $40 worth of feed every single day. They lay a ton of eggs this time of year, and so it more than makes up for it, but they definitely eat quite a bit I would say right now, this kind of late springtime, because all those younger hens are just starting to lay. And when they start laying, they get ravenously hungry, we have found. So they end up really eating quite a bit of feed. But we're still really happy with this feed supplier that we're going through now. Way cheaper than the store. So if you can find an actual feed supplier near you, they're probably gonna be a lot cheaper than the box stores, because this gigantic 50-pound bag of 17% layer feed, I think is only like $12.50 or $13 for really high quality feed that you can see the oats and you can see the ingredients in. Whereas the store-bought is kind of junky. You never know what's actually in it. And even the cheapest brand is $13 or $14. And the nice stuff that you do like the ingredients in it, that's more like $17 or $18 for sometimes only a 40-pound bag. Moral of the story, make sure you do your homework on feed. Try to really shop around, and don't be afraid, even if you've gone through the same place for a while, don't be afraid to look around and see what your options are. All right, they will have feed now for the next week at least. We have reached the end of the line for this hose. I'm gonna have to go the other direction next time. We only have one well, and we only have 2 outside spigots for water. So water is a big problem on this property that we're hoping to fix in the next couple of years. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get this filled up the rest of the way, and then as soon as it starts getting dark, we'll move the netting, and as soon as everybody's in, we'll move these hens. All right, it's about 9:15 at night, and they are all starting to go in for the night. We're gonna get the netting moved, hopefully while we've still got some daylight. And then once they're all in, we'll move the actual coop. But we're gonna try to get as much done during daylight as we can. Not have to worry about it too much. Are you my camera guy, little dude?
I don't know.
Come on, we got work to do.
Aw.
You can ride the 4-wheeler with Daddy in a minute.
I wanted to go on a drive. Oh my goodness, Daddy. Daddy, look at the sky. What's that? I found another one.
You catch a lightning bug?
Yeah. I found you. I have a little friend.
All right, we got the netting all strung out, and so that part is done. We just gotta wait for the girls to go up to bed at night, and then we will get the coops moved.
Are the feeders?
They're full.
I see your rednecks and cleats on there, honey.
You bet I did. But do they work?
Yep, sure.
Yes. Hey, I said they were functional, not pretty. That's all that mattered.
My phrase stays. Rednecks and cleats onto it.
Is that a verb?
Redneck.
What are you doing? Here's our sweet girl cat. We don't see her around as much. She likes to wander during the day, but she's a good girl. Alright, we're winding down. We've just got a handful left that are still out. Alrighty, everybody is in. We're gonna move these coops. Drop all the way. There it goes. Okay, don't hit me. Hold on. Okay, watch out. Okay, it's good. All right, we just gotta close the net and then we are done. All right, we will call that a night, guys. I had to turn on the flash for this last shot. So very content to get everything back up to snuff on our coop. It'll be so nice not to have to worry about the latches and all the hinges and everything else for the next few months at least. Got them to fresh grass. I'm sure they'll be thrilled about that. Appreciate you guys sticking around if you made it to this point in the video. Please make sure to hit like and subscribe. This was Courtney from Ruby Red Farm, and I hope you all have a great day.